Meanwhile, the TSA has had an embarrassing 2 weeks. 2 reports about agents slipping fake explosives through the airport, and now the TSA failing to link workers to terrorism. A bit earlier, I spoke with Ron Johnson, the senator who ran the hearing just yesterday. Senator Ron Johnson, good morning, sir, and thanks for coming back here in America's Newsroom.
Morning, Bill.
This seems to be a battle between security and efficiency, and something's got to give. What did you learn in that hearing, Senator?
Well, first of all, you're exactly right. The TSA really has those dual goals of being efficient so nobody misses their flight, and also being, guaranteeing 100% security. And obviously it's not working. I wish it were, but it's not. So we need a top to bottom reevaluation of how the program's working, how it's not working, and really start prioritizing what we really can do to provide far more effective and efficient security to our aviation system.
All right, I want to take you back to yesterday's hearing. There's a couple very relevant points. This is John Roth with Homeland Security talking with Ben Sass, the Republican from Nebraska, talking about red teams. Go.
The red teams are not yours, and this leaked report is yours.
Again, I can't confirm or deny any of the specific results or the specific methodology by which we did our testing. As I said, we don't identify ourselves as red team. These are auditors that we use who are members of the Inspector General's office.
So to be more clear, the auditors are accountants who work for the government, is that right?
Yeah, when I met with Inspector General Roth in my office the day before the hearing, I'm an accountant myself, so he said, these are just auditors, they're just accountants. I said, nothing wrong with accountants, but they're not obviously highly trained security experts that really know how to defeat the security system. And so that's, again, why this is so obvious that what we're doing is not working. Somebody else has called it security theater. Now, in defense of security theater, it does deter some bad actors, but it certainly doesn't keep us 100% safe. No. So again, we need a top to bottom review of this, and we have to make the system far more effective.
Back inside the hearing, Senator Claire McCaskill with this conversation with Rebecca Roaring. She works with the TSA out of Minneapolis. I guess you could call her a whistleblower of sorts. Listen to this exchange here now.
And I know this is the whole thing of time versus safety, and how quickly can we move people through, right?
Yes, you've hit the essence of the problem.
Essence of the problem is something called TSA PreCheck, which I use myself, and I think it's unbelievable. I signed up years ago when it was first offered. But what's happening now, Senator, is that everybody's being flushed over the PreCheck line, and that's where things get through and people get through. Do I have that right?
Yeah, exactly. So, the concept of TSA PreCheck is a good one. Known passengers, fully vetted, so that they can have an expedited security check. But now what's happening is this, as Ms. Roaring pointed out, that we're handing out that TSA PreCheck like Halloween candy, and it's just defeating the entire purpose of the program. So we've got to go back to the concept of the program where it's fully vetted passengers. And Bill, we also have to do a far more layered approach. The AIT machines that are supposed to be scanning for bombs, obviously they're not working the way they should. They certainly don't do a very good job of detecting metal weapons. So there are certain things you can do. Just put a metal detector on the other side. But one of the things I was asking about was, how about bomb sniffing dogs that are incredibly effective? That would be layered security. We had a witness there. There's an air marshal said that we really need to repurpose air marshals, have them perform more of a police and investigative function. There are a lot of things we can do. We're going to be holding a hearing on the new TSA administrator, the nominee. We want to get him confirmed as quickly as possible. And my charge to both Secretary of Department of Homeland Security, Jay Johnson, as well as the new TSA administrators, we got to start thinking outside the box. We got to really prioritize what we can do to provide the best security as well as the greatest efficiency.
So you think with dogs and additional security and really going up and down the line here and making sure that everything is taken care of, that you can maintain efficiency and still keep things safe? And that way you don't have these embarrassing incidents that we've been reporting for 2 weeks now, Senator.
Yeah, and let's face it, when we're, patting down 83-year-old grandmas in wheelchairs, that is security theater. It makes no sense whatsoever.
Yeah,
so again, we got to take a far more intelligent approach.
Yeah, back to Rebecca Roaring. This on the topic of fear and distrust, as she describes it.
The culture that exists at TSA is one of fear and distrust. While TSA cannot control all the risks associated with aviation security, Leadership of the agency is certainly in a position to impact change. Better training and management of the workforce would result in an improvement to morale as well as detection rates.
Fear and distrust. I mean, that really was a headline. And we found out the Department of Homeland Security, by some measure, is treating this as a PR crisis as opposed to a national security threat. What do you think of that?
Well, the Department of Homeland Security is listed as one of the lowest morale departments in the federal government. So this has been a department that's just been plagued with low employee morale, and particularly the TSA. And let's face it, people are people, and it's a very tedious job. It's very easy to become complacent. So you really need some thoughtful management techniques to rotate staff, to provide incentives, to keep people, completely alert, keep this nation safe. So we've had some real management problems. I give Secretary Johnson credit for acting swiftly. Again, we're going to work very closely with him and the new TSA administrator, Admiral Neffinger, and get them to think outside the box, start prioritizing, and make this a far more effective and efficient system.
We got a lot on the line, as you well know, after 9/11. Thank you, Senator Ron Johnson, the Republican from Wisconsin.